Hi, my name is Angelo Della Rosa, Technical Specialist with ZEGAZ Instruments. I'm going to give you an overview of the ZEGAZ Instruments hydrocarbon and water dew point analyzers. This overview will cover the HCD5000, which measures hydrocarbon dew point, WDP5000, which measures water dew point, and Dew Point Duo, which measures both hydrocarbon and water. So this is the analyzer box. During operation, all 20 bolts will be sealed. This is a sample system. Yours may look different. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. In the center here we have our display disc. This screen is going to display all the current test data, previous found dew points. The most recent dew point will be displayed on there as well. Current pressure and temperature data will also scroll. We have our indicator lights, so power means that we have power to the unit. Cooling only turns on when the cooler in the unit turns on and will get brighter as it cools down lower in temperature. Status light means that everything is electronically working correctly, and the infrared light is to indicate that our light source is working properly. On the side of the box you'll notice that we have two conduit openings. The upper you can use for your communications and the lower you can use for your power connections. Here we have our gas input and this is our gas output back to the sample system. This box right here contains our analytical cell. It has no user serviceable parts and opening it will void the warranty. To connect power to your unit, you'll bring your power through the conduit opening closest to the terminal blocks. The terminal blocks are color-coded according to AC power. So white is your neutral, black is your line, and green is your ground. To connect them, you just open up these tabs here and connect your terminated wire into the terminal block for each one. The DC unit will look slightly different. The terminal blocks will be color-coded for DC. To the left here, you'll see we have a grounding screw. Make sure to connect your ground terminal to this. Here's a closer look at the AC power terminal block. Inside we have a fuse here. It's a 2 amp fuse for the AC units. For the DC units, it will be different and it'll depend on the input voltage. Before changing this fuse, make sure that you disconnect power from the unit. Right above the terminal blocks for power, we have our programmable 4 to 20 milliamp analog outputs. They can be powered internally or externally with the movement of a jumper. To the left, we have our RS-485 and RS-232 connections. This is our pressure transducer, which will keep track of the pressure in the system. And then we have 3 digital relays that can be assigned to various alarms. Now we'll go into a little bit more detail about our 4 to 20 milliamp analog AOs. So you see here they're numbered 1 through 4 from left to right. This is your internal-external power jumper. The default is internally powered, and if you choose to power them externally, you will have to move each jumper. The connections go as follows. Your signal is on the first port in the terminal. Your external power, if being used, is in the second. And your ground comes in the third port in the terminal. The terminals are removable for easier connection. You can power your 4 to 20 milliamps internally or externally. The default is internal. To change it to the external option, you'll need to move this jumper from the internal marked position to external. The jumper will need to be moved for each AO that you want to externally power. Now we'll take a better look at the microcomputer. Here we have 2 ports that are usable. The USB port has a flash drive that keeps track of all the test data, and it has to be in the upper port. Then we have an Ethernet port to the left that you use for networking the unit. ZEGAZ Instruments analyzers are networkable using the Ethernet port and utilize a web-based user interface. From this interface, you can download data and manipulate some of the configuration settings. There are two ways you can network your analyzer. You can utilize the Ethernet port and connect it to an existing Ethernet network, or by using the factory supplied micro router. To directly connect your analyzer to an Ethernet network, you simply use the Ethernet port that's on the microcomputer, and you bring out your cable at the top conduit to connect to your Ethernet network. To use the factory supplied micro router, you simply make the connection from your analyzer's Ethernet port to the LAN port on the micro router. To supply power to it, you simply use the USB cable, and any 5-volt USB source will power the unit. By connecting your analyzer using the micro router, you will be creating a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you can access the user interface from any web-enabled device, including smartphones, tablets, and personal computers. This is a typical sample system. Yours may look different, but will have similar elements. Here we have our supply input. It will pass through one or more filters and then go directly to the unit. It will come back from the unit after being analyzed, regulated down to about 20 psi, pass through a flow meter for safe venting. Here's the high pressure bypass. We recommend that you leave it slightly open to drain any liquids that were trapped by the filters. It can also be used as a fast loop. Now remember that the high pressure bypass comes out at high pressure and the vent comes out at low pressure. Never connect the two together. Here we have our validation point. You can use this to validate the analyzer with a known gas. We recommend ethane of 99.5% or better. You can use it to measure the dew point of a known gas and compare it to the known dew point curve of ethane.